1,000 years ago, a thriving society engineered enormous sandstone buildings, crafted intricate kivas, and constructed hundreds of miles of roadways across a remote desert canyon. Then they vanished. Who were the ancestral Puebloan people who transformed Chaco Canyon into the cultural heartbeat of the Southwest for over 300 years? In today's video, we'll explore the magnificent archaeology of Chaco Canyon and unravel the mysteries of its meteoric rise and abrupt abandonment. For many centuries, the ancestral Pueblo people, sometimes referred to as the Anasazi in older literature, lived in small, scattered villages across the Four Corners region of the Southwest. Around 900 AD, people began settling in the Fajada Butte area of Chaco Canyon in uncommonly large numbers. By 1050 AD, an explosion of cultural complexity began appearing, centered on massive ceremonial structures archaeologists now call the Great Houses. The scale of these buildings was staggering, especially for a population without draft animals or complex technology. The largest great house, Pueblo Bonito, covers over 2 acres and originally stood 5 stories tall. Estimates suggest over 30,000 tons of sandstone was used in its construction, all quarried from distant cliffs. Complex mathematical and astronomical alignments guided the layout of many structures. Clearly, the society wielding the knowledge and power to erect such edifices had undergone profound changes. Over 200 great house sites have been identified across the Four Corners region, but Pueblo Bonito remains the most monumental. Let's tour some of the primary structures that anchored Chaco Canyon's cultural heart. Pueblo Bonito's 800-plus rooms sprawl across the canyon floor. It began as a semicircular structure but grew through successive additions. Tower kivas and interior plazas provided public gathering spaces, while masonry techniques included core and veneer walls. Burials containing precious minerals indicate Pueblo Bonito residents had access to status symbols. Constructed next to Pueblo Bonito, Chaco Canyon hosts the famous central Great Kiva. This round ceremonial structure could accommodate hundreds, suggesting Chaco hosted sizable rituals. Chaco Canyon's blocky architectural style contrasts with Pueblo Bonito's curved forms. The largest Chaco Canyon great house built in a single stage, this 1060 AD structure incorporates 3 stories and an elliptical shape. Its location near major roads in Chaco Wash give clues to why this specific site was chosen. Hundreds of miles of engineered roads radiate out from Chaco Canyon, providing critical trade and communication routes across the desert Southwest. These highways allowed Chaco to stay connected culturally and economically with distant communities. Let's walk some of these ancient byways. This 30-foot wide engineered highway runs over 30 miles north from Pueblo Alto. It required moving over 125,000 tons of earth during construction. Archaeologists have found stairways, ramps, and drainage features integrated into the road. Connecting the southern great houses, this highway also links to trails extending towards the Chusca Mountains. South Road's presence indicates the significance of routes leading both north and south from Chaco Canyon. Serving as a spine connecting the great houses within the canyon, this main road stretched over 15 miles. It reached across Chaco Wash to join Pueblo Pintado and beyond. By studying artifacts like ceramics, textiles, and plant remains, archaeologists gained fascinating insights into Chaco Canyon's cultural patterns and developments. What do the physical objects left behind reveal about the people who once called this place home? Let's examine some key artifacts and what they suggest. The variety of vessel forms, styles, and designs reflect the skills of Chacoan potters. Production methods became more standardized around 1050 AD as Chaco grew. However, archaeologists have uncovered distinct pottery types from various outlying areas, indicating cultural diversity. Chacoan masons crafted complex structural timbers, stone walls, and earthen plasters. The homogeneity of core and veneer walls points to shared architectural styles. However, other material evidence indicates Chaco sustained regional diversity rather than imposing complete cultural uniformity. Corn was a dietary staple, sparsely supplemented with beans, squash, wild plants, turkeys, and small mammals. Isotope studies show little protein comes from marine sources or maize. This indicates Chaco relied heavily on local agriculture versus outside trade for sustenance. Elaborate textiles with complex dyes, patterns, and fibers required extensive harvesting, processing, and weaving times. This investment demonstrates textiles' cultural value for beauty, warmth, and status display beyond basic utility. The roads' designs reflect their purpose in moving goods and people. Their visibility from mesas indicates symbolic, cultural functions as well. Overall, the system's scale and complexity illustrate an engineered cultural landscape. Items like flutes, wooden staffs, and jewelry portray Chaco Canyon's role in hosting ceremonies, rituals, and cultural gatherings that sustained spiritual life. The presence of distant goods shows these events drew regional attendees. By the early 1100s, construction and cultural activities at Chaco Canyon began declining rapidly. The great houses were completely abandoned by the 1200s as populations moved towards lands like the Mesa Verde region. What could have caused the downfall of such a flourishing cultural system? Archaeologists propose many theories. Overfarming, firewood use, erosion, and drought may have made agriculture untenable. Climate shifts possibly reduced critical rainfall. These changes would have strained Chaco's large population. Cultural values may have shifted focus away from centralized systems. Political influence could have spread in new directions. The decline of Chacoan cosmology based on mesas and astronomy provides clues to massive ideological changes. Chaco's failure to stop environmental decline could have impacted spiritual power and faith in leadership. The deterioration of living standards may have caused many to lose belief in the cultural system. Surrounding communities could have viewed Chaco Canyon's wealth and cosmopolitanism as a threat leading to revolt. But archaeological evidence shows little violence, weakening this explanation. Regardless of the exact catalysts, Chaco Canyon's fall illustrates the complexity of sustaining large cultural centers dependent on ideology, managed resources, compliant populations, and external trade. As any of these pillars weaken, systemic instability and abrupt collapse can occur. Chaco provides a poignant example of this phenomenon. Despite over a century of archaeological research, many enduring mysteries still surround the ancient world of Chaco Canyon. How were Chaco's leaders able to coordinate the construction of great houses across such an expansive region? What specific spiritual practices and belief systems shaped Chacos's cultural and political spheres? Did environmental pressures or internal cultural changes trigger Chacos's rapid decline? Archaeologists continue to puzzle over how Chaco could convince outliers so far from the canyon to build replicated great houses. This suggests Chaco wielded immense ideological and cultural authority across the region's social landscape. But the exact source of this expansive influence remains hazy. Scholars also debate whether Chaco declined chiefly due to climatic shifts and related environmental stresses, or were shifting internal cultural dynamics, loss of faith, and new ideological directions more pivotal in destabilizing Chaco. The definitive catalysts for Chaco's fall likely included a blend of both external and internal factors. However, their precise weighting and interactions remain ambiguous. In this brief tour through the archaeology of Chaco Canyon, we have traced the rise and fall of a cultural system that produced some of the most impressive architectural achievements in ancient North America. Through artifacts like roads, dwellings, and ceramics, the essence of a complex civilization emerges, yet the advent, dominance, and eventual decline of Chaco Canyon remain shrouded in mystery. Future archaeological discoveries will continue illuminating the lives of the ingenious people who inhabited this remote desert canyon over 9 centuries ago. What is unequivocal is that the architects and craftsmen of Chaco Canyon left future generations astonishing accomplishments to appreciate and study for centuries to come. The archaeology of this special place teaches us much about past societies while revealing how much more we have yet to learn. Thank you for joining me to glimpse the ancient world of Chaco Canyon.